I'm Dave Luvison, Executive in Residence with the Management and International Business Department of Loyola University, Maryland. And it's my privilege to join you in this interview with Jimmy Rhee. We started this series as a way of introducing our students to business leaders in the community that had not only advice about what's going on today, but direction that our students might be able to leverage going into the future. So Jimmy, thank you for joining us today and giving us your valuable time. Would you mind taking a moment, introducing yourself, telling us where you work and what's involved with your role?
Okay, well, I'm honored and privileged to be here, and I'm Jimmy Rhee. Originally, I'm from South Korea. That's where I was born and raised. I came here as a teenager, and having the privilege of living in this great country as a immigrant, working for a governor, is something that doesn't really happen in other countries. Okay, simply put. So that's number one indication of how great this country is. Currently, I work for a gentleman named Larry Hogan, okay, governor of Maryland. One of his cabinet members, he's economic sub-cabinet as well. And the area that I'm mostly focused on is small minority and woman businesses. In Maryland, we have approximately 600,000 entities registered as small businesses. And as you well know, because of the pandemic, there's a tremendous stress in that space. So it's been busy 12 months. But that's what I do, working with the small entities, working with procurement space, government contracting that is, and any projects in the state where large companies have a project, but they are required to utilize small companies, whether it's a medical cannabis, offshore wind, or building a casino or highway construction, I get involved. That's what I do.
We've talked a lot about this idea of students being able to connect the dots and ultimately become, more effective in terms of what they're going to do in their lives and careers. Maybe if you could start off that thread by kind of giving us a sense of what you mean by connecting the dots, right? And then, how would they go about doing that, right?
Wow, that's a great, sounds like it's a philosophical question more than.
Well, it's something that you actually put in my mind, so I'm going to share credit with you on that.
I think the best way to talk about that would be to give a real example first, right? About 10 years ago, when I was running a commerce department for another governor in other state, our job was to recruit large companies, right? And one of the large Asian conglomerates was trying to sell the product called their LED lighting, okay, in the US government space. They tried on their own, failed after 2 or 3 years, and then CEO approached me, hey, what am I doing wrong, okay? So to sort of condense the story a little bit, I told him those 3 pillars of success, which I earlier alluded to. I said, you got 2 of those 3 and I got the 3rd one, okay? He didn't know what that meant, right? I said, you have corporate competency. Your product is good enough to be sold in the US, okay? It's a good stuff, okay? So that checks. 2, you've been burning a lot of money. Like you've been wasting a lot of money, but you're still going strong. So access to capital issue, you got no problem with that, okay? Check. But you have no idea how policies impact your product, because in the US, the energy products, these are policy-driven products. You have to understand policies to know where the opportunities come about, right? So I told him, wherever you're making the product, don't make it 100% there, make it 70% there and give me the last 30%, right? And what I did with the last 30% is I told the CEO, I will take the 30% and I'll bring in handicapped people to finish the last 30%. Why? Because we have policies by employing these handicapped people that they could get the Made in USA certified stamp, okay? But not only that, the products will become mandatory purchase items for certain federal facilities, right? Why? Because to promote the employment of these handicapped people, we have policies that connect those 2 dots. So rather than coming and saying, mine is best and cheapest, please buy, Mr. Customer, right? Rather than that bilateral relationship, you create that extra variable, X factor. You create that and you satisfy that and the party happens. So it's triangulating the concept, right? So just putting that extra dot. But going back to your original question of what is connecting dot all about is this. I I think the reality has only few sets of possibilities, right? All situations in life, no matter what, have happened before, right? And you know that, okay? We are both old enough to know that, right?
I think they all happened to me, but yes, I know. I think they definitely have happened. Yeah.
But if you have a certain principles, whatever they are, okay, that you believe in, right, which don't change and are true to reality, and you are confident in applying them to certain situations, have worked before, okay, then you do have the tools with which to connect dots. Okay, certain dots are problems, certain dots take care of solutions to improve or repair life, right? You can learn the repeating patterns of anything in life, okay, because uh, uh, all systems have patterns, okay? So you can learn everything's happened before. Financial market behaves, but it has patterns, right? When
Sure.
people eat donuts, it has patterns, right? When you get up in the morning and shave, it has patterns. So you can learn these repeating patterns, and by understanding those patterns and applying certain principles to them, right, that work, you are connecting dots, the interdependent dots, and that's where the economic strength comes from, right? Now, from the perspective of students, a good example might be this. In their lifetime, because of how fast technology evolves, their job situations may change, okay, very quickly, right? So what is your next station? It's a very tough question for them. And my suggestion would be something like this: go travel. Go travel, young people. Why? Because if you have a passion, if you have a principle that you care about people, travel will, very enjoyable, number one. Take a letter from A to Z, okay? S, go to Asia, Japan, Sapporo, Japan, Seoul, Korea, Shanghai, China, or Singapore, wherever, right? Just go there and just be with the people and see how they live, okay? Learn what their problems are, right? Because if the business is all about solving problems, you know exactly what problems to solve because you watch them, okay? You know their problems are genuine, right? And that's the area that you'll bring solutions to, right? And so it's all about connecting dots, and that's what that is about, okay? By learning the repeating patterns and then applying certain principles to help them to solve problems, and that's what that it is, okay? Sometimes you have to guess, but if you have to guess, never be afraid of guessing, because just like the Lord Cain said, it's better to be vaguely right than to be precisely wrong, right? So have confidence, okay, and go after it, right?
Yeah, that's great advice. It's interesting. It sort of plays into this Loyolan idea, this Ignatian idea of reflection, right? You need to kind of think about things. This idea of connecting dots is actually reflecting so that you can bring in some of your past experiences as well as maybe some of your hopes and dreams. And it's also about broadening your perspective. This idea of, for instance, going to travel, right? It's this idea of broadening your perspective so that you actually have the ability to take in different perspectives, different viewpoints, different ideas, different ways of thinking, different experiences, different challenges. Yeah, that's wonderful, Jimmy. That's good. And I think that's really good advice for our students to take, rather than think very instrumentally about, well, I should be doing this and then I have to do this to get that job. They should really be sort of stepping back and even just broadening themselves, right?
Yeah.
I had somebody once early in my career say, the best thing you can do for yourself, Dave, is every day take 15 minutes and read the Wall Street Journal or read a paper, right? Just so that you know what's going on in the world. Don't worry about the work. Worry about that, and eventually it'll come. And I think your advice plays into that. I know I've taken up a lot of your valuable time. Do you have any other advice you care to leave our students with, Jimmy?
Yeah. I think given what's going on, I think you know, I think young people should not forget this. We live in the greatest country, okay, the world has ever known. Okay, yeah, we got problems, okay, but at least we are facing them and fixing them, right? Other countries don't do that, right? They hide those problems, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, the democracy is fragile, okay? It's susceptible to demagogueries and so on, and we witnessed this recently, right? Young people to know that, we don't live in a perfect union, but this is the greatest country, right? The world has ever known, right? And at the same time, the democracy is fragile, okay? It can be broken easily, okay? Demagogues are out there constantly trying that, right? So it has to be held together by intentional act from all of us, okay? Including those young people, because this is their country, okay? Now, and also, as leaders of our society, the people who care about society, we have to always have this humanity, right? The rules and policies that we adopt must embrace those people that are least among us. I think that's a very important part. Now, think about what's going on right now, the anti-Asian thing, right? China virus, Kung flu, okay? And the Atlanta shooting of Koreans, right? Because thinking they're sex workers, whatever, right? Now, you have to remember what Martin Luther King said. He said there are two sets of laws, those that come from above and those that we make. And until those two sets of laws are compatible with each other, he said we'll never live in a just world, okay? Unfortunately, gaps still exist, okay? That's why those things happen, all right? Black Lives Matter, anti-Asian thing, the gap's still there, right? However, okay, young people are the change agents, right? They have to remember that things that are worthy will never come about if they really wait for other people to come there and change for them, right? They are the ones they have to change. They are the change agents. I want them to always remember that, right? They are the ones they've been waiting for, okay? They are the future leaders, and this is their world, and it's up to them. And I think that's very important, lasting word parting words that I wanted to sort of convey.
No, I think that's great. I think they can choose to live the future they dread or make the future they want, right?
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I think it comes to that. Jimmy,
Yeah.
this has been, as all my conversations with you are, wonderful and enjoyable, and a lot of learning coming my direction, and I know toward our students on this. So I want to thank you very much for making the time to do this with us, and thank you again for all your contributions to the board and for all that you're doing for the state of Maryland. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Jimmy.
That's fun. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Bye-bye.